Morning, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of Rambling Rants. Triple R. Ba 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 da. So it's Tuesday morning. I'm having a coffee. This is me drinking coffee. Good coffee, black coffee. Anyway, we've just had a bit of racing on the weekend. There was no death threats sent through from episode 1 of my ramblings and rants about categories and such like that. Some positive stuff coming back. I'm sure there's some negative that hasn't been said, but that's okay. Maybe people did see it in the light that it was given, that it was about positive change and trying to, fix things. Anyway, rambling. That's the rambling part. Let's bring some ranting parts. So I was going to rant about rolling starts. In Victoria sports sedans, we generally don't do rolling starts. Now, this is something that's always kind of bugged me, and I want to get in early before everyone's like, you just don't like standing starts, right? You must be shit at them. To be honest, I think I'm pretty bloody good at standing starts when I don't be a dick and break both axles after telling Gary Roberts that I know how to do standing starts better than he told me how to do them, and I went back to doing them how he told me to do them after that. But I liked them, especially when I was in my 180. I was a bit underpowered, but I was able to launch off that line and usually get a few guys, a few other people off the line. So standing starts, I don't think I've ever had bad experiences with it. Rolling starts can be a bit scary as well because you're already moving and by the time you get to turn 1, you're going bloody quick. But, it's a fluid thing, and usually you find that it works itself out. Now, why do I have a bee in my bonnet about rolling starts? Why, Ran? Why is this? Look, my feeling overall with sports sedans, and some will not agree with this, and I don't always agree with everything that nationals do, and that's just life as humans. We don't always agree with each other, but in the end, the nationals, to me, is the top of the pyramid. Think of it as a pyramid scheme. I know pyramid schemes are bad, but think of it like a food pyramid that's good. Has the good food up the top and the crap down the bottom that makes you fat and die early. Not necessarily that has anything to do with anything. You could be fat and eat the stuff at the top like me. But anyway, nationals, I think, are the pinnacle of sports sedans, and that's where we all are aiming to get one day if we have the finances. You don't really need the skill, but finances definitely help. Some skill definitely helps so you don't make a dick of yourself. But anyway, rolling starts is what they do. I must admit I was going to look up when rolling starts came in because I know I watched lots of stuff and it wasn't always rolling starts. Someone might get in there. I'm sure someone very clever, an encyclopedia of sports sedans will get in and go, "Ran, it was this year that I came in and it was because of this reason." We sort of, I think, maybe because we got so powerful with big tyres that became more grippy that standing starts were just breaking too many things. Blowing clutches and whatnot. I know, for example, my old man's car, which he bought off Shoot Inward, has a little tiny clutch in it, so it doesn't really like standing starts. And I think John Goulet with Perkins, maybe? I think they did a clutch or something at Island Magic. Anyway, they've gone to rolling starts. It looks spectacular. I think it really suits the class. I think it's part of the DNA of sports sedans now, may not have been in the past. New South Wales, they do rolling starts, and I messaged a bunch of my friends from different states. Western Australia does rolling starts. Queensland does rolling starts. South Australia do rolling starts. Tasmania do not do rolling starts, but funnily enough, TT in Tasmania do rolling starts. So fucking blow me sideways. What the hell? And Victoria don't do rolling starts. Now, in my earlier days with sports sedans, sitting on the committee briefly for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, I think it was something that I brought up. Being a newbie at the time, I suppose my voice was small, and I do know that some of the competitors enjoyed standing starts and they had good representation on the committee, so I suppose that's why it stayed partly. Might be. I think I also felt that there was a little bit of pushback from Vic State at the time. I suppose it changes some things. I don't know, some logistical things. I get it. It's easy for me to say they should be doing rolling starts, but maybe there is a bit of back behind the scenes things that need to get sorted out, and it was just not sort of happening, and there was some pushback from people. I suppose another thing also is that there was complaints that people don't know how really to do them, and could cause accidents, and I get that as well. But I suppose if we're looking at sports sedans as a whole, which I think we should be, all the clubs and the nationals are all one big entity, which I believe we should be doing, because I think it creates unity and an ability to move forward easier if we're all on the same page or working towards the same goal. That people will get used to them. And then by the time if they hop over to do New South Wales round or do a national round and they're doing a rolling start, they don't make a cock of themselves, and they're not scared and they're not nervous, and they don't do something silly because they've been doing rolling starts all day long. That's what they do. So I think for sports sedans in this instance, rolling starts is the way to go. So I was going to do a big rant. Let's go have another sip of coffee. I was going to do a big rant about it, about how Vic are behind. But I've seen in the rumour file, posted up by Chris Neal, that rolling starts, and he's put AKA Precision National Sports Sedans, but it really should just be sports sedans, I think. Could be trialled at Calder at the next thing. Now, that's great. So fucking props to you guys. Whoever is pushing that wheelbarrow, let me know, because I'm happy to lend a hand in pushing that wheelbarrow. Because, again, despite feeling that I actually get usually better starts standing, I think rolling is better for the overall category, and that's what we should be looking at. I did chat to some people over the weekend, and there was a bit of a vibe where people are pushing only their own agendas. And this is not just to do with Victoria, by the way. It's just a general. It was some people talking about some sports sedan stuff with me and asking my opinion on some things, which is very nice that they would ask my opinion. And I suppose we've got to remember it's for the whole of the category. It's not just what's good for your car or what's good for you to win. It's what's good for everybody. What you do to your car and you to win, yeah, sure, focus purely on that, but you can't be manipulating rules. You shouldn't be manipulating rules to create a better playing field for just you. You should look at it as in a whole entity. So this is turning into a little bit of a thank you and a praise for Vic. I don't want to just be ragging on people and ragging on clubs and ragging on shit ideas. I want to be celebrating good ideas and good initiatives by clubs, because that's where, how cool would the rambling rants by Ran, or whatever the hell I'm calling it, if that just became me posting about how friggin' awesome it is, what people are doing. That's what would be my end goal. Gets very tiring being upset with things. Sounds silly, doesn't it? But it does. Think about it. You know, got to try and focus on the positives, not on the negatives. And in this case, we can by saying, Victoria, good on you for whoever's pushing this, and whoever's pushing back against it, stop. Stop being a flog. Rolling starts is where we should be going. It's what the class should have. It's so that it gets guys ready to run nationals when they have the funds and have the experience. Some people only ever be club racers. I think I can put myself in that category, so I'm not ragging on people that are just club racers. We just don't have the funds. I barely have the funds to race club at the moment. I don't. But you know what I'm saying? Like, some people will stay at club level, but for those guys, and even for me, maybe I do lots of club racing, lots of state racing, and then every now and then jump into a national round, and I'm already comfortable with the starting format, which is probably one of the most tense parts of the race. Once things spread out, it all settles down, you cruise around, you're having fun, maybe battle with someone, but you're not, under that same pressure that you are off a start. And if we're already very comfortable with those starts, I think then that's only a positive. So, yeah, I don't know. I was going to rant about how Super TT do rolling starts. I was going to rant about how TT do rolling starts. I was going to rant about how stock cars do rolling starts and that we don't in Victoria. But I don't need to now. Good on you guys. So it's been trialled, I understand, at Calder. I suppose that's they're going to have to commit a bit harder than that. I want to say that. I suppose they're trialing it. Maybe it's for the officials as well. We need to commit to it, and we need to have. I'm assuming there'll be if there's someone smart enough, there's people smart enough to be pushing this in Vic. I'm sure they're just as smart to know that they're going to be needing to do a little bit of education and teach us all how to do these rolling starts properly. I know that I was thrown in the deep end when I did them, and I just sort of followed the guy in front of me and listened and didn't do anything silly. But I did notice a lot of people around me at rolling starts drive like, I don't know, they've lost their mind for a moment and dropped some acid and are tripping balls. So we do need to just make sure that happens. I suppose the only negative I will say, again, is that I've seen no word from the club officially that this is happening. So, again, that comes back to my transparency thing, making people aware of it. That'd be my only thing that I would have to say is transparency, guys. Let us know. Let the community know. Let the competitors know. Don't make us into mind readers. You know, that whole thing. Yeah, I'm not going to go down that road. But, yeah, just let everybody know. The racing was pretty good at Victoria, Phillip Island. It was raining, so I'm freaking glad I didn't have any coin to go race there because I can barely drive my Calibra in the dry at the moment. If I'd been in the 180 or something like that, happy days. That would have been good fun. I wasn't that great in the wet, but definitely wasn't super scary. But it was a lot of fun. Dino flogged him, but he had to fight for it, so it was great to see. I know that he went to some Michelins. He tried some hand-cooked wets, and they were garbage. And now he's gone to Michelin wets, which we all know are far better. So wets all tyres are open in Victoria. I think wets are open in Nationals. I'd have to double-check that. But unfortunately, there are definitely better brands than others, and it definitely showed. Good to see Brett Dickey out there. I understand on low boost, I'm not sure. It definitely didn't look wound up, but it definitely didn't look like it was on nothing either. Really sad for Trav. Breaking motors sucks. I know that if it's going to happen to anyone, happening to him means it might get fixed really soon because that guy at the moment is on a high of passion. And I do remember those days for myself when I was high on passion. That's weaned down and been stomped into the ground. But good on Trav I know that he's already got plans, and so we may see him at Bathurst. I don't know if we're going to see him at Calder. We may. If he can make it happen, he will. I suppose worst case scenario, he could put a junker motor in there and run around, get points. I don't know if that's what he'll do. I'm sure the motor's already getting rebuilt as we speak. He's probably there at his workshop at 7 a.m. working on it before he does his normal job. Vic V8s with sports sedans. If you listen to my first episode on the Ramblings, you'll know that I think they should just be sports sedans anyway, but semantics, I suppose, is that the right word? But I don't know. Mikasa, Mushukasa, Mushus Gracias. I don't know. The fact that they were together was great. If they need to call them separate things, that's great. I think on the same grid, moving forward, if both parties could find some resolve or whatever they need to do, I'm not part of either of them, so I don't know. They might already have sorted it out. Good on you guys if you have. If you haven't, fucking pull your socks up and try and make it happen. I think having Vic V8s look like sports sedans for the most part, besides their supercar liveries, but that's personal choice, you know. I put all friggin' crazy screwed up shit on my race cars, and I'm sure everyone doesn't like that. So if you want to put V8 supercar stuff on your car, it's because you like V8 supercars, then rock and roll, man. I'm really looking forward to Francois bringing sports sedan back. I know they're doing a lot of work on it. I know he does want to run it. Just frustrates the shit out of me seeing that Dodo car. But he's got a proper sports sedan. I'm going to call it a proper sports sedan because the supercar ain't a proper sports sedan. But again, I suppose it's one of those things, isn't it? Man, if you've got the money to buy a supercar that's been professionally built, I suppose why wouldn't you have a freaking run? Especially in the wet. You know what? I'd probably have both of the cars in my truck, to be honest. Bring the Dodo car out for when it's raining and bring the sports sedan out for when it's dry. I think that'd be pretty bloody clever, to be honest, Francois. So good to see him. He was up there having a mix. He didn't run into anyone, so that was fantastic to see. Talking about not running into people, it was good to see that in TT that the racing was super clean, and there were some people that I thought would run into people and they didn't, and they didn't really do anything bad. So that's great. I like to be proved wrong in what I think is going to happen. So good to see good battles up the front. Super TT, I must say, I thought you were dead in the water, but that was a really good round at Winton with the high-tech series. Really good racing up the front with some effectively floor plan sports sedans, I suppose. But mate, you've done it. That BMW was mint. There was some pretty hectic driving. But yeah, looked like good clean racing to me. I'm really mad props to you guys. The saloon cars at Phillip were pretty awesome too. I don't know any of the guys. There was a Lounsey guy and a few other guys. I must admit, I got sucked into that battle. Class does nothing for me personally. I'm not into that sort of style, but damn good racing. So props to you guys as well. So anyway, if you like these rants, I'll try and think of something else. There'll be stuff that pops up. Don't want it to just be yelling about stuff and how shit things are. I want it to be celebrating what's really good as well. I don't know why. I think it's, I was saying to someone yesterday, I think it's because I'm not racing. I haven't raced this year. It is making me go insane. Working on the race car and painting it was really good for the soul, but work's just not busy enough to get out there and race. Working every day, but not working, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm exhausted, but not making the coin to go out there and race. So you get to rant a bit and get involved. I'm trying not to. I'm limiting how much I get involved because I feel, that I just want to, it's good to see something positive coming from Vic. I'm very, really, really happy about that. So I suppose I want to end by saying good on you, the people in Victoria and Sports Sedans Committee who are pushing rolling starts. I want to buy you a beer. If there's 20 of you, I'd probably still buy you beers, to be honest. One each, though. But, yeah, please let me know who it is. I want to know. I really want to know who's pushing that because I think that's really good. I think I know who it will be. There's some newer people in... But then it sounds like I'm dissing on the old people. I'm not. I like you all. I love you all, yeah? You're rad people. I just want to push you sometimes. Not off a cliff, just forward. So, thanks, everybody. Good work. Lots of racing. I think Bathurst... Is Bathurst the next round? I think there's another Victorian round at Calder. We're trying to enter, but money. My license just lapsed, so that's $550. Then you got an entry, fuel. Don't have to do any accommodation because I live 10 minutes away from Calder. So we'll see. We'll probably drop in there anyway. I think my old man's going to test his car to see if he's fixed the engine issues. And rock and roll. If you want to hear more episodes of this, let me know. If you think I'm a flog, let me know. No, I don't really care if you think I'm a flog. Just keep it to yourself and follow your own vision in life. Rock and roll, everybody. Ramblin' Rants, episode 2 done. 17, 18 minutes. It's not too bad. Good to listen to while driving to work. Rock and roll.